Lens through inner solo, flirting couple, male friend is in the card of your choice now. Choose your favorite number. Hello everyone, this is ZEUS, the Tarot Master of ZEUS Tarot. Before we begin the first reading, please take care of your health. The weather has been changing a lot lately. Stay warm and keep yourself healthy, okay? Now, for those who chose number 1, let's begin your reading. The first card appearing today is the High Priestess. She watches you quietly. No word, no move, but she knows everything already. You feel that calm, right? That silence, it pulls you in. There's mystery around her. Not just charm, it's something deeper, something that calls your heart. She sees your emotion even before you say it. She reads your thought like an open book. But she never tells you directly. She wants you to feel it, not hear it. That's her way of connection. Silent, deep, emotional. When you look at her eyes, time slows down. You don't even breathe for a second, because her gaze, it touches your soul quietly. No rush, no demand, just presence. She's calm outside, but inside, a storm is waiting. Her heart moves, but she hides it when. You think she's distant? No, she's holding everything inside. Her silence is not cold. It's how she protects her feelings. She is you, and you are her mirror. You both hide, but you both feel. That's why this connection feels heavy. Because it's not just attraction, it's reflection. She's the High Priestess. She doesn't chase. She attracts without even trying. Her power is stillness. Her beauty is in quiet knowing. He hides his feelings well, but that silence is louder than any words. His eyes, they tell everything. Every glance, every breath speaks what his lips can't say. He stays quiet because he's afraid to reveal too much. He's the type who studies emotions, not the one who spills them. He measures every heartbeat, trying not to fall too deep. But feelings can't be measured. They overflow before he knows it. When he hears your voice, his body reacts before his mind does. A small spark like electricity running through his veins. He takes a deep breath, pretending nothing happened, but his silence trembles. He watches you, not to control, but to understand. You're not just someone he likes. You're the mirror that reflects his hidden self. That's why he fears you, and that's why he can't stay away. His silence is not rejection. It's his way of protecting both of you. He knows one wrong word could change everything between you. So he chooses silence and fills it with emotion instead. Every time you smile, his heart breaks a little because he can't say what he truly feels. He keeps repeating in his mind, stay calm, don't let her see. But the more he hides, the more you already know. That's the truth of the High Priestess. She doesn't reveal she's sensitive. And now he's becoming like her. Silent, aware, emotional. He tries to control his heart, but his body has already betrayed him. When he hears your name, his breath changes. When you look at him, his heartbeat skips a note. He told himself, it's nothing. But now, that lie feels too heavy. His logic starts to fade. His emotions start to speak. He's not thinking about what's right. He's thinking about you. Every time you walk away, his eyes follow, but he pretends not to care. He hides his hands because they tremble. He hides his thoughts because they scream your name. The High Priestess energy grows inside him. He becomes mysterious, quiet, and deep, not by choice, but by how much he feels. He's afraid that once he speaks, everything will change. So he waits, caught between desire and fear. He watches your smile, and every time he feels a gentle ache in his chest. That pain is not sadness, it's awakening. He finally understands that silence cannot protect him anymore. He starts to accept it. Yes, I care. Too much. But that truth makes him softer, not weaker. Because love has already found its way through the walls he built. You are not just a passing thought. You're the calm he seeks and the storm he fears. He doesn't know how to approach you, but he knows one thing he can't go back to before he met you. This is the turning point of his heart. His silence is shaking, his emotions are winning, and soon his eyes will tell you everything that words never could. He stops running from his feelings. There's no more reason to hide. He finally knows this is not just curiosity or attraction. It's something that changes who he is. When he looks at you now, there's no fear, only quiet truth. He doesn't need to speak because his silence has already confessed everything. His eyes are steady, his voice softer. Every move says, I choose you. It's not loud, but it's honest. The high priestess is about knowing, not guessing, not hoping, just knowing. And he knows now you are the one who awakened him. He no longer analyzes emotions. He feels them. He no longer measures timing. He simply follows the rhythm, your rhythm. He once feared disconnection. Now it gives him peace. The chaos inside has turned into clarity. He doesn't ask why anymore. He just says, this is real. If you're single, he's ready to step forward. Not to impress, but to be genuine. If you're in a connection, he's ready to go deeper, to build something that lasts. If you're already together, he wants this love to grow quietly. No drama, no fear, just truth. His heart has become still but alive, calm but certain. That's the power of the high priestess, the quiet that turns emotion into destiny. He has reached the end of silence. Now his heart speaks clearly. I'm here, I feel you, and I won't hide any more. That is his final truth and the beginning of everything between you. Second card, 3 cups. When he sees you, his whole energy softens. No pressure, no tension, just warmth rising inside him. He feels lighter around you, as if life becomes a little easier. That comfort is not accidental. It's the beginning of emotional flow. Your smile stays in his mind long after you leave. He remembers small things, the tone of your voice, the way your eyes sparkle, and he replays those moments again and again. This is more than liking, it's resonance. 2 energies matching without trying. He doesn't force conversation. It just happens naturally with you. When you laugh, he feels the joy in his own body. When you pause, he pauses too, as if his emotions follow yours. That's unconscious connection. He wants to be close to you, but not in a desperate way. More like he feels safe near you. This is the gentle beginning of something sincere. If you're single, he already sees you as someone he could cherish. If you're in a connection, he feels the spark growing deeper. If you two are just friends, his heart has already stepped 1 step ahead. The Throw of Cups is the card of shared joy, shared feelings, shared energy. And right now, his heart is opening softly, naturally, toward you. He's starting to understand something. His feelings for you are no longer civil. It's not fun anymore. It's attachment, and he knows it. You cross his mind more often than he admits. In quiet moments, your face appears. In busy moments, your voice echoes. That's how deep the connection is settling into him. He's becoming more careful, more thoughtful, more aware of you. Not to impress you, but because he doesn't want to mess this up. He pays attention now. Your mood, your smile, your silence. He senses things before you even say them. That sensitivity comes from real emotion. He tries to act natural, but you already affect him. Your words change his day. Your presence changes his heart. He wants to get closer, but slowly, gently, so he doesn't scare you away. If you are single, he wonders if you feel the same. He hopes you do, more than he shows. If you are in a subtle connection, He's waiting for a sign, a tiny confirmation that you're moving toward him too. If you are friends, he's starting to question where this friendship is heading because his heart is no longer neutral. He doesn't push, he doesn't rush, he simply feels. And every day, those feelings grow a little deeper. This is the moment he becomes aware that you matter, more than he expected. His heart is opening, softly but surely, and he can't hide that anymore. He's not just feeling anymore. He's moving, quietly but clearly. He looks for you now in rooms, in messages, in conversations. Not by accident, by choice. He wants reasons to talk to you. Little excuses, small moments, tiny openings. He thinks about what to say, then deletes half of it. Because he doesn't want to sound needy, but the effort is real. Very real. He starts showing up at the right time. When you're tired, he appears with calm energy. When you're happy, he mirrors that joy without even trying. That's emotional, sinking a deep connection forming. He pays attention to details, your favorites, your dislikes, what relaxes you, what triggers you. He absorbs everything because it matters to him. Three of Cups is the moment he chooses closeness over fear, attention over avoidance, warmth over hiding. He's stepping towards you, one careful step at a time. If you're single, he's preparing a gesture, something small but meaningful. If you're in a connection, his heart is already committed. He just needs the courage to show it. If you are friends, he's testing the distance, and that distance is getting shorter each day. He no longer wonders, should I? He thinks, how can I? How can he be closer? How can he be present? How can he be someone you feel safe with? This is not hesitation. This is intention. His heart has chosen you. His actions are following, softly, steadily, unavoidably. This is the turning point, the moment when his feelings become direction. He's not confused anymore. His feelings have settled, calm, warm, and certain. You bring him peace. You bring him joy. And he knows it now. He doesn't force anything. He doesn't rush. But his heart keeps leaning towards you day after day. That's how love starts. Quiet, steady, undeniable. When you speak, he listens with his whole chest. When you smile, his world softens. When you're distant, his heart aches in ways he can't explain. Because you matter. More than he ever expected. The Three of Cups reaches completion when two hearts move in the same direction. And his has already chosen. It's you. It's been you for a while. If you're single, his next step is sincerity. He wants to show real effort, something that proves you're not just someone, but someone meaningful. If you're in a subtle connection, he wants clarity. He wants to turn maybe into yes. If you're friends, he's standing right on the edge of something deeper, and he's ready to cross it if you give the slightest hint. He doesn't want to lose you. Not the bond, not the laughter, not the peace you bring him. That fear of losing you is what makes his feelings so real, so honest, so strong. His heart is no longer searching. It's resting with you. That's the truth, the Three of Cups whispers. And if you listen carefully, you can hear his silent confession. I want you in my life. Not for a moment, but for a long time. This is the final note of his emotional journey, a warm, complete, beautiful certainty. His heart has made its choice, and that choice is you. The devil appears, not to scare you, but to tell the truth he has been hiding. This card reveals a silent pull, a magnetic tension he can't break away from. Even if he tries to act calm or distant, his energy reaches for you again and again. There is a desire here, deep, instinctive, raw, and undeniable. He doesn't show it, but his body speaks first. His heartbeat reacts before his mind decides. You are the person he thinks of when the room gets quiet, when temptation whispers, when he lets his guard down. The devil tells us this. He is already bound to you. Emotionally, chemically, instinctively. He acts like he has everything under control, but the devil exposes the truth underneath. There is a part of him that watches you a little too long, a little too often. He tries to stay composed, tries to pretend he's unaffected, but his eyes give him away. You awaken something in him, a curiosity he can't put back into the dark. He wonders what it would feel like to be closer to you, closer than he should be. He imagines your voice, your warmth, the way your presence changes the air around him. This isn't just attraction, it's hunger he tries to tame, a desire he denies even to himself. And yet, every time he pulls back, he returns again, drawn by a thread he cannot cut. The devil whispers, his control is slipping, and you are the reason why. This is the moment where his feelings stop being subtle. The devil shows that he is no longer a passive observer. He is emotionally involved. You trigger something he can't switch off, a pull that feels too real to ignore. He thinks about you when he's tired, when he's stressed, when he wants comfort but doesn't ask for it. Your presence isn't just attractive to him, it is addictive. He finds himself checking your messages, your social media, your online status, even when he swears he won't. There is a spark he tries to bury, but the more he hides it, the stronger it burns. He wonders why you affect him so deeply and why he can't walk away. The devil reveals this truth. You live in his thoughts more than he wants to admit. Here is the truth. The devil never hides. He wants you in a way that feels dangerous to him. This connection pushes past comfort, past logic, past the limits he set for himself. You awaken a side of him he thought he buried, the passionate, impulsive, raw version of himself. He imagines what it would be like to close the distance, to stop pretending, to give in just once. These thoughts scare him because with you, he loses the control he is so proud of, and yet he doesn't want that control when it comes to you. There is a longing he cannot silence, a temptation he cannot resist, a desire he cannot unfill. The devil's final whisper. He is already yours in the ways he cannot admit aloud. You chose the devil, and in the second layer of his emotions, we step deeper into what he hides from everyone, even from himself. He feels an overwhelming pull towards you, not excitement, not curiosity, but something raw, something he can't rationalize. To him, you're the person he thinks about when his guard drops, when the world quiets down, when he finally admits what he really wants. And here's the truth he won't say aloud. I feel bound to you, not trapped, but connected in a way I can't break. This isn't just attraction. It's a gravity he can't step away from. He tries to ignore it, tries to distract himself, tries to act like it's not that deep. But the devil card reveals the part of him that reacts before he thinks. When he hears your name, his body reacts. When he imagines you, his energy rises. When he distances himself, he ends up circling back to you anyway. This is the stage where logic collapses and instinct takes over, and his instinct is pulling him straight toward you. Even if he pretends he doesn't notice. Even if he convinces himself he's in control. Deep down, he knows exactly what this feeling is. A desire he can't tame. A bonding he didn't expect. A connection he can't walk away from. And no matter how far he steps back, this invisible thread between you two pulls him again and again and again. He tells himself that he's fine without you. But the devil reveals the truth. He's not fine. He's restless. Whenever things feel stable in his life, his mind drifts back to you. as if you're the one piece that makes everything meaningful again. And the most unexpected part, your energy calms him and drives him crazy at the same time. You ground him, but you also ignite him. It's a contradiction he doesn't know how to manage. He'll try to stay logical. He'll try to stay composed. He'll try to act unaffected. But every time he feels your presence, something inside him wakes up. It's not merely passion. It's not just longing. It's the sense that you see through him more clearly than anyone else. People can admire him. People can desire him. But you understand him, and that terrifies him more than he wants to admit. Because if someone understands him deeply, they also have the power to hurt him deeply. So he guards himself. He pulls back. He acts distant. He hides behind silence. Not because he lost interest, but because the intensity of what he feels for you is too real, too loud, too close. The devil shows a man trying to hold his composure while his heart is already leaning in your direction. This is why he hesitates. This is why he overthinks. This is why he can't act naturally around you. He's afraid that if he nets one moment's sleep, you'll see exactly how much he actually wants you. Here's the layer he refuses to acknowledge. He wants you in a way he doesn't want anyone else. Not casually, not temporarily, not in the shallow way he's been interested in others before. With you, it's different. It's deeper. It's personal. You touch a place in him that has been closed off for a long time. And that scares him, because desire is easy. But vulnerability, letting someone matter, that's the part he has never handled well. The devil reveals that he's drawn to your confidence, your aura, your silence, your self-control. You're not chasing. You're not forcing. You simply exist. And that presence alone pulls him towards you. He feels seen, but not exposed. Desired, yet respected. Challenged, but safe. It's a rare combination he didn't expect to find. And that's why he keeps returning to this feeling, even when he tries to fight it. You, your voice, your energy, your timing, stay with him longer than he wants to admit. And this is the truth he keeps locked away. If I let myself want this, I won't be able to stop. That's why he hesitates. Not because you're wrong for him, but because you're exactly what he's been avoiding. Someone he could actually fall for. Here is the core truth the devil finally exposes. He is already attached to you. Even if he denies it, even if he hides it, even if he pretends it's not serious. Emotionally, energetically, mentally. He's intertwined with you more than he intended. Your absence affects him. Your silence bothers him. Your attention lights him up. He feels a shift every time you appear in his world. As if the air changes, as if the energy sharpens. This connection isn't in his head. He feels it in his body, his breathing, his heartbeat, his thoughts. You trigger something he cannot switch off. And he knows, deep in the part of himself he doesn't talk about, that you're the person who could break his walls or break his heart. That's why he stays guarded. That's why he acts complicated. That's why the timing feels difficult. The intensity he feels for you isn't normal for him. It's not casual. It's not replaceable. It's the kind of connection that forces a man to confront himself. And whether he's ready or not, his energy is already moving towards you, drawn, bound, awakened. This is not the end of his feelings. This is only the beginning of what he's trying so hard to manage. We step into the emotion he hides, even from himself. The emotion that blends desire with fear of losing control. When it comes to you, he doesn't just feel attraction. He feels exposure. He feels pulled open. You stir something in him he has worked hard to suppress. The part of him that wants connection as much as he fears it. He acts composed, calm, unbothered, but inside, he feels overwhelmed by how deeply you affect him. Your presence changes his energy. Your silence shakes him. Your attention stabilizes him. Your distance makes him restless. And this is the part he doesn't want anyone to know. You make him feel alive in a way he didn't think was possible anymore. He's used to controlling everything, his reactions, his emotions, his desires. But with you, the control slips. Not in a chaotic way, but in a way that makes him dangerously honest with himself. He catches himself imagining you, wondering about you, replaying moments with you. He doesn't admit this aloud, but you already occupy more of his inner world than he intended. And the devil shows that this isn't obsession, it's awakening, a reactivation of something he shut down a long time ago. The part of him that wants real, consuming connection, and that connection is pointing directly at you. Here's the deeper layer he tries hardest to hide. You challenge the version of himself he shows to the world. Most people see the surface him, the confident one, the calm one, the rational, controlled version he's practiced for years. But you see past that. You read his silence, you feel his shifts, you catch the small changes in his tone and rhythm, and that makes him uneasy, not because you expose him, but because you understand him too accurately. You're not fooled by his distance. You're not impressed by his warmth. You're not intimidated by his confidence. Instead, you read the part he never lets anyone see, the vulnerable side he guards with everything he has. And this is exactly why he is drawn to you as intensely as he is. You don't chase him. You don't pressure him. You don't demand clarity. You simply exist in your own energy, and that alone pulls him towards you. He feels safe with you in a way he can't explain. Not soft safe, not comfortable safe, but the kind of safety that makes a person reveal who they actually are. It's terrifying and magnetic all at once. When he looks at you, he doesn't see someone he can play with. He sees someone who could actually matter. And that scares him more than the intensity of his attraction ever could. Because if you matter, you gain power. The power to affect his heart, his balance, his emotional world. And deep down, he knows you already have that power. There's something he avoids admitting, not to you, not to others, and not even to himself. He feels emotionally dependent on you in a way he can't explain. It's not a weakness. It's not desperation. It's the quiet realization that his emotional world shifts differently when it comes to you. When you're present, he feels steadier, clearer, more alive. When you're distant, his thoughts scatter. He loses focus. He gets restless without understanding why. You became an emotional reference point for him, the person he measures other connections against. And nothing else feels the same. No conversation, no attraction, no chemistry with anyone else hits with the same weight. And that frustrates him, because before you, his emotions were predictable, manageable, contained. But now, his feelings react to you in ways he can't reason with. He thinks about you at the most unexpected times, when he's tired, when he's working, when he's trying not to. He replays your voice. He imagines your reactions. He anticipates your messages even when he pretends he doesn't care. And the devil exposes the truth behind all of this. You become emotionally significant to him. Too significant. Not by force, not by pressure, just by being who you are. Your calmness, your intuition, your silence, your presence. It all hits him in places he didn't protect well enough. And now, the idea of losing you, even hypothetically, creates an ache he hides behind logic and distance. Here is the truth he will never say out loud, but the devil lays it bare. He's already emotionally invested in you, far beyond what he planned. He didn't intend for this to happen. He didn't expect it. And he definitely didn't prepare for it. You slipped into his heart quietly, gradually, without any dramatic moment or obvious turning point. It was your presence, your timing, your energy, your silence. It all accumulated until one day he realized, I'm not the same when it comes to this person. He feels protective of you in a way he can't rationalize. He feels drawn to you even when he tries to resist. He feels affected by you in a way that exposes the softer part of him he keeps hidden. And this is the internal battle he's fighting right now. He wants you deeply, but wanting you means giving up control. It means letting someone in. It means risking emotion. It means stepping into a connection that could actually matter. And that terrifies him more than any romantic intensity. Because with you, it's not a game, not a phase, not a passing crush. It's something that could change him. So he goes silent. He pulls back. He overthinks. Not because he's indifferent, but because he feels too much. The devil reveals that he's standing at the edge of a deeper emotional truth. He wants you. He fears you. And he can't let go of you. All at once. In this final layer, we step into the truth he tries hardest to suppress. The truth that sits beneath his fear, his desire, and his silence. This isn't just attraction anymore. It's not curiosity. It's not chemistry or interest. It's something heavier, more personal, more irreversible. When it comes to you, he feels a shift that he cannot undo. It's the kind of connection that changes a man's inner world, quietly, slowly, but permanently. He feels it in the way he looks at you when you're not watching. He feels it when he tries to distract himself and nothing works. He feels it when the thought of losing you hits harder than it should. And here's the deepest truth the devil lays bare. You awakened the part of him he thought was long dead. The part that wants, the part that cares, the part that hopes, the part that fears, losing what he hasn't even fully received yet. With you, he doesn't feel numb. He doesn't feel detached. He doesn't feel safe in the old comfortable way. He feels alive, exposed, and vulnerable. And for him, that's both intoxicating and terrifying. Because to feel this way means accepting a truth he doesn't want to face. You matter to him far more than he intended. So he fights it, resists it, pushes back, acts distant, builds walls, not to reject you, but to protect himself from the depth of what he's already feeling. This connection isn't something he can walk away from. Not anymore. Not with how deeply you've already reached him. Here's the truth he avoids more than anything else. He feels like he's already yours in an emotional way he can't fully explain. Not owned, not controlled, but connected in a way he doesn't feel with anyone else. You occupy a space in his mind that no one has touched in years. Quiet space, a sacred space, a vulnerable space. It's the place where he stores the things he doesn't talk about. His fear, his hopes, his longing, his doubts, his unfiltered emotions. And the devil reveals that you slipped into that space without force, without strategy, without trying. You simply fit there. And that realization shakes him, because when he looks at you, he doesn't just see desire. He sees possibility. He sees meaning. He sees a version of himself that he could actually open up to. But opening up means letting go of control, something he's never been good at. So he creates distance, not because he wants space, but because he needs time to stabilize his emotions before they overwhelm him. You represent the future, that feels both beautiful and dangerous. Beautiful because he can feel the connection pulling him in a way that feels real. Dangerous because if he falls, he knows you'll be the one person who could truly break him if things go wrong. This is why he hesitates, why he pauses, why he pretends to be stronger than he feels. But underneath all that resistance is one quiet truth. He's already falling. He just doesn't know how to let it happen without losing himself. And this fear, this emotional vulnerability, is exactly why his feelings for you are so intense. Here is the truth he tries hardest to outrun. He sees a future with you, and that terrifies him because it feels real. Most connections in his life fade quickly. They burn out, they pass, they don't anchor themselves in his emotional world. But you stay. Your presence lingers long after the conversation ends. Your energy follows him into moments where it shouldn't be. Your memory returns when he tries to move on with his day. You're not temporary to him, even if he wishes you were, because temporary is safe. Temporary doesn't require courage. Temporary can't change a man, but you can. And that is where his fear and desire collide. He looks at you and sees someone who could genuinely matter in the long run. He sees a connection that could actually shape his life, shift his priorities, and soften the parts of him he's kept armored for years. And the devil reveals something deeper. When he imagines a future, your presence is already inside it without him trying. It is instinctual, automatic, uninvited, but undeniably there. And that scares him because if he steps closer, if he lets himself want this fully, he knows there's no going back, no pretending, no detaching, no erasing the depth of what he feels. This connection is not casual. It's not replaceable. It's not a passing moment. It's a turning point, a moment in his life where he realizes that someone finally reached the part of him that he thought was unreachable. And whether he's ready or not, he knows. You are the person his heart keeps choosing even when his mind tells him not to. If you're single, the truth he'll never say out loud. Some nights he tells himself he should move on. But every time he tries, your face appears in his mind like a spark he can't extinguish. He wonders who you're texting, who's catching your attention, and whether someone else will reach you before he does. He tries to act strong, but inside, he's terrified of missing his chance with you, and that fear is exactly why he can't let you go. If you're in a situationship, you're the one thing he can't walk away from. He keeps saying he's not ready, or he needs time, or he's scared of labels. But the real truth is simple. He already feels too much. You slipped into his heart quietly, and now he's addicted to the way you talk, the way you look at him, the way you make him feel understood. He pretends to be calm, pretends he's in control, but inside, he's yours more than he admits. If you're in a relationship, he loves you so deeply, it scares him. He acts confident, but that's just a mask. Underneath it, he's constantly afraid of losing you to something. Your past, your future, your choices, or someone else who might catch your eye. He loves hard, he attaches fast, and he feels everything intensely. You're not a partner to him. You're home. You're comfort. You're the one thing he doesn't know how to live without. That's why his emotions sometimes overflow in ways he doesn't know how to control. If he's a male friend, he's done pretending this is just friendship. He tells himself he should stay in the safe zone. That being your friend is enough. But he is lying, and he knows it. Every time you smile at him, a part of him falls deeper. Every time you talk about someone else, his chest tightens. Every time you need comfort, he wants to be the one you lean on. not as a friend, but as something more. He hides his feelings because he's terrified of losing you completely. But the truth is, he's not just your friend. Not anymore. Final message of the devil. No matter your connection, his heart is tied to yours in a way he can't break free from. You are the desire he suppresses, the attachment he hides, and the emotion he cannot control. Even if he walks away, even if he stays silent, his energy is still reaching for you. He hasn't let you go. And deep down, he doesn't want to.
A beginning of his true feelings. You chose the Ace of Cups, and this card appears only when someone's heart is quietly overflowing in ways they can't hide anymore. This is the beginning of something real, something he didn't expect, something he didn't plan, something he can't stop. The Ace of Cups shows an emotion that rises naturally, almost involuntarily. He didn't go looking for this connection. He simply felt it. The moment he noticed you, he's been trying to stay calm, but his heart reacts before his mind does. When you message him, he feels a lift inside his chest. When you're distant, he feels the drop immediately. When you're warm, he melts so much it scares him. And the truth is this, he wasn't ready to fall for anyone, but he fell for you anyway. This feeling is gentle, but strong, soft, but undeniable. It's love in its earliest, purest form, the beginning he can't ignore. Right now, you're the one person who brings light into his emotional space, and he hasn't felt something like this in a long time. You awakened something in him that he thought was gone. Hope, warmth, desire, connection. He may not say it out loud yet, but inside, you've already become his emotional center, where his feelings truly began. When the Ace of Cups appears, it means one simple truth. His heart opened because of you, not by choice, not by logic, not because he was looking for love. It opened because something about you went straight into his emotional core before he even realized what was happening. He didn't fall for your looks first. He didn't fall for your words first. He fell for the energy you carry, the calm, the warmth, the presence that makes him feel like he can breathe again. This card appears when someone feels a sudden pull, a gravity that doesn't make sense at first. And that's exactly what happened to him. He wasn't planning to like you. He wasn't ready for anything new. He wasn't even thinking about romance. But the moment you touched his life, the moment your energy crossed his, something inside him said, "Pay attention. This person matters." He didn't want to admit it at first. He tried to treat you like anyone else. He tried to stay neutral, stay composed, stay logical. But the feeling kept rising, soft at first, like a small ripple in quiet water, and then growing stronger each time he interacted with you. He noticed the way he reacts to you is different, more alive, more vulnerable, more real. When you reach out to him, he feels his mood lift instantly, as if someone turned on a light inside a dim room. When you're silent for a while, he feels an ache, a missing piece he didn't expect to feel. That emotional sensitivity, that heightened awareness, that's the Ace of Cups working through him. You awakened something he thought he lost, a tenderness, a hope, a desire for connection that he hasn't allowed himself to feel in a very long time. And here is the truth he hasn't said to anyone. You make his heart feel safe again, not rushed, not pressured, just safe. Safe enough to feel something new, safe enough to open up again, safe enough to imagine a future that doesn't look empty. This is not infatuation. It's the beginning of something real, something meaningful, something slowly blooming inside him, even if he tries to hide it. Right now, you are the warmest part of his emotional world, and he doesn't want to lose whatever this is becoming. why you touched him so deeply. He didn't understand it at first. Why his heart reacted to you before his thoughts did. Why your presence felt different from anyone he met recently. But the more he saw you, the more he realized something beautiful. You feel familiar to him, like a soul he knew before he ever met you. He doesn't show this openly, but inside, he's studying you, watching the small details, trying to understand why you make him feel so unexpectedly calm and so quietly emotional at the same time. You have a softness that disarms him, but also a depth that pulls him in without forcing anything. He doesn't feel judged by you, doesn't feel the need to pretend, doesn't feel pressure to be perfect or impressive. And that freedom, that emotional ease, is something he rarely feels with anyone. Your presence brings out a version of him that is more authentic, more tender, more human. That's why his heart awakened. Not because you tried to impress him, not because you said something dramatic, not because you approached him intensely, but because your energy made him feel understood in a way he didn't expect. The Ace of Cups isn't a loud feeling, it's a quiet shift in the heart. The moment someone realizes, this person makes my world softer. He never expected to find that softness again. He didn't know his emotional walls could melt just by feeling comfort in your presence. And yet, here he is, suddenly aware that he looks forward to your messages, suddenly aware that your voice or your words stay with him longer than they should, suddenly aware that his heart feels full when you're near his energy. It confuses him, it excites him, it scares him a little, because this feeling didn't grow slowly. It bloomed the moment he met you. He may not show it, but internally he's asking himself, why does this person make me feel something so pure when I wasn't ready for this? This is why the Ace of Cups is so powerful. It's not a dramatic love confession. It's the beginning of a gentle flood, an emotional opening he can't reverse. And right now, you're the one person his heart naturally flows toward. How his emotions began overflowing. At first, he tried to explain away the feeling. He told himself it was just interest, just curiosity, just a passing attraction. But the more he interacted with you, the more he realized it wasn't just anything. Your presence didn't fade. Your impact didn't weaken. His emotions didn't settle. They grew, slowly at first. A soft warmth in his chest when he saw your name appear on his screen. Then stronger, a quiet longing when the conversation ended faster than he wished. Then undeniable, a pull toward you that he can't turn off no matter how hard he tries. He knows the difference between infatuation and genuine emotional awakening. This is awakening. You didn't enter his life like a spark. You entered like water. Quiet, steady, soft enough to soothe his heart, but strong enough to reshape the walls around it. He didn't expect to care this much. He didn't expect to think about you this often. He didn't expect to feel this depth so early on. And yet, your energy flows into him naturally, without permission, without barriers, without resistance. When he's having a difficult day, your presence feels grounding. When he's tired, your words give him clarity. When he feels alone, your energy gives him warmth. This is the Ace of Cups in its purest form. Not an explosion, but a rising tide that lifts him emotionally before he even notices. He's beginning to wonder what this connection is meant to be, why he feels calmer when he thinks of you, why you've become a quiet source of peace in the middle of his hectic life. And most importantly, why his heart feels full in a way he hasn't felt in a very, very long time. It scares him, because overflowing emotions always do. But at the same time, it comforts him, because deep down, his heart recognizes you as something genuine, a beginning that feels right, a feeling that feels safe, a connection that feels almost fated. He doesn't understand it fully yet, but he knows one truth clearly. You didn't just enter his mind. You entered his heart in the softest, realest way possible. And that is why he can't let this go. The moment he accepted his feelings for you, there was a specific moment, quiet, simple, almost unnoticeable, when he realized this feeling wasn't temporary. Maybe it was the way you laughed, the softness in your voice, or the warmth in something you said. But suddenly, his heart didn't just react to you, it recognized you as someone who brings meaning into his emotional world, recognized you as someone his heart naturally opens for, recognized you as someone he doesn't want to lose. He didn't tell anyone about that moment. He didn't even tell himself at first. But something inside him shifted. A quiet acceptance, a gentle surrender, a realization that you're not just another person passing through his life. You are the reason his emotional space feels different, the reason his walls soften, the reason his heart feels awake. He hasn't told you this, but he's already letting himself imagine what life would feel like if you stayed in it. He thinks about small things you haven't shared yet. Future conversations, future moments, future memories waiting to be created. This is deeper than attraction, deeper than curiosity, deeper than a passing interest. It's the beginning of real emotional attachment, the kind that grows roots before anyone notices. He's scared of how real it feels, but he's also drawn to it, drawn to you. Because something in him knows that this connection did not appear by accident. He didn't choose it. He didn't control it. He didn't plan it. His heart simply saw you and said, "Here, this person." You opened something inside him that had been locked for years. And now that it's open, he can't close it again. Not with you. Not this time. This is the Ace of Cups, the start of a love that begins softly but grows undeniably strong. And right now, you are the one his heart is quietly choosing. Every day, a little more, a little deeper. He feels all these emotions for you. The warmth, the pull, the quiet joy, the rising attachment. But here's the twist. The deeper he feels, the more afraid he becomes. Not afraid of you, afraid of what this means for him. Because falling for someone means losing control. And he's someone who tries very hard to stay in control of his emotions. So even though his heart is opening because of you, his mind is trying to slow everything down. He's been hurt before, more deeply than he admits. To others, he acts strong. He acts confident. He acts like nothing touches him. But inside, he's still carrying small wounds that haven't healed. So when he feels something real, like what he feels for you, he freezes a little. Not because he doesn't want this, but because he does. A little too much. And that scares him. There are moments when he wants to open up to you, say something honest, say something vulnerable, but he stops himself. Not because you're unsafe, but because you make him feel too safe. And that level of comfort is unfamiliar to him. You're the first person in a long time who has made his heart feel soft without breaking it. And he doesn't want to risk losing that. The fear he hides when real feelings begin. He didn't expect his emotions to grow this quickly. And he definitely didn't expect to feel exposed because of you. But that's exactly what's happening inside him. The closer he feels to you, the more he senses his old defenses softening. And that softness, that emotional opening, makes him feel vulnerable in a way he rarely allows. He's someone who usually keeps his heart carefully guarded. Someone who stays composed. Someone who doesn't show weakness even when he's hurting. But with you, His heart reacts before he can protect himself. That's why this connection is both beautiful and frightening for him. Because the Ace of Cups isn't just new love, it's emotional exposure. It's the moment a person realizes, I care and I can get hurt. He doesn't want to admit how deeply he feels already. Not because it's wrong, but because it's real. Real feelings make him feel alive again. But they also awaken old fears he thought he buried long ago. He remembers what it felt like to be disappointed, to be ignored, to give and not receive, to try and still lose someone. He hides these memories behind a calm face, but they're there, quiet, heavy, unspoken, drawn to you, because something in him knows that this connection did not appear by accident. He didn't choose it. He didn't control it. He didn't plan it. His heart simply saw you and said, here, this person. You opened something inside him that had been locked for years. And now that it's open, he can't close it again. Not with you. Not this time. This is the Ace of Cups, the start of a love that begins softly, but grows undeniably strong. And right now, you are the one his heart is quietly choosing every day. A little more, a little deeper. He feels all these emotions for you. The warmth, the pull, the quiet joy, the rising attachment. But here's the twist. The deeper he feels, the more afraid he becomes. Not afraid of you, afraid of what this means for him. Because falling for someone means losing control. And he's someone who tries very hard to stay in control of his emotions. So even though his heart is opening because of you, his mind is trying to slow everything down. He's been hurt before, more deeply than he admits. To others, he acts strong. He acts confident. He acts like nothing touches him. But inside, he's still carrying small wounds that haven't healed. So when he feels something real, like what he feels for you, he freezes a little. Not because he doesn't want this, but because he does. A little too much. And that scares him. There are moments when he wants to open up to you, say something honest, say something vulnerable, but he stops himself. Not because you're unsafe, but because you make him feel too safe. And that level of comfort is unfamiliar to him. You're the first person in a long time who has made his heart feel soft without breaking it. And he doesn't want to risk losing that. The fear he hides when real feelings begin. He didn't expect his emotions to grow this quickly. And he definitely didn't expect to feel exposed because of you. But that's exactly what's happening inside him. The closer he feels to you, the more he senses his old defenses softening. And that softness, that emotional opening, makes him feel vulnerable in a way he rarely allows. He's someone who usually keeps his heart carefully guarded, someone who stays composed, someone who doesn't show a weakness even when he's hurting. But with you, his heart reacts before he can protect himself. That's why this connection is both beautiful and frightening for him. Because the Ace of Cups isn't just new love. It's emotional exposure. It's the moment a person realizes, I care, and I can get hurt. He doesn't want to admit how deeply he feels already. Not because it's wrong, but because it's real. Real feelings make him feel alive again. But they also awaken old fears he thought he buried long ago. He remembers what it felt like to be disappointed, to be ignored, to give and not receive, to try and still lose someone. He hides these memories behind a calm face, but they're there, quiet, heavy, spoken. His distance is not rejection, it's emotional overload. When he pulls back, when he gets quieter, when he needs a moment to himself, it's so easy to assume he's losing interest. But with him, it's the complete opposite. He withdraws because the feelings hit him too strongly, too suddenly, too honestly. And he doesn't know how to handle the intensity yet. He's not used to someone touching his heart this naturally, this softly, this deeply. So instead of rushing towards you, he slows down. Not because he doubts you, but because he needs space to process the emotional wave you've awakened in him. You are not the reason he steps back. His own heart is. He's overwhelmed by how deeply he already cares, how easily you affect him, how much you matter in such a short time. He feels, why does this feel so real? Why do I think about them so much? Why does their opinion matter this much? What if I mess this up? These thoughts don't make him run away. They make him cautious. Because in the past, when he opened his heart too fast, he was left hurting. And now, he's terrified of repeating that cycle. So when you see him retreat for a moment, don't misread it. He isn't pushing you away. He's steadying himself so he can stay. His pauses are not distance. They're emotional recalibration. He's trying to calm his heart, understand his intentions, protect the connection, and move at a pace where he won't sabotage anything. Because he knows this isn't a casual connection. He treats you differently because he feels differently. With anyone else, he wouldn't think twice. But with you, he wants to be careful. He wants to be respectful. He wants to build something real without breaking the fragile beginning. So his silence, his retreat, his slower steps are actually signs that he values this more than he's ready to admit. If he didn't care, he wouldn't hesitate. But he does, deeply, quietly, more than you realize. He's not unsure about you. He's unsure about himself. The more he feels for you, the more he starts questioning his own readiness. Not your worth, not your intentions, not the connection, himself. Because deep down, he worries he might not be everything you deserve. He wonders, am I stable enough? Can I give them what they truly need? What if I disappoint them? What if they see my flaws and walk away? These aren't excuses, they're insecurities he hides beneath a calm face. He carries small fears from past experiences, fears of not being enough, fears of opening up, fears of letting someone down. And with you, those emotions intensify because he actually cares. He doesn't want to be someone who hurts you through inconsistency. He doesn't want to create something he can't sustain. He doesn't want to start a connection only to crumble under his own fears. He holds back because he sees your value so clearly it makes him question his own. You awaken parts of him that feel tender, hopeful, and vulnerable. And those feelings make him reflect on himself. Do I deserve someone like this? Will they get tired of me? Can I rise to their level? He isn't pulling away because he doubts you. He's pulling away because he's afraid he might fall short. He sees you as someone emotionally intuitive, someone self-aware, someone who offers presence, warmth, and connection in a way that feels rare. So rare that he doesn't want to mishandle it. This is why he hesitates right when the emotions become real. He thinks you're too bright, too soft, too meaningful to be treated casually. He doesn't want to step towards you with unhealed parts and end up hurting you without meaning to. So he slows down, not out of fear of love, but out of fear of not being good enough for the love he feels. Inside him, there's a quiet promise forming. If I move toward them, I want to do it right. This inner conflict isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of sincerity. He cares enough to question himself. He respects you enough to want to grow into someone who can stand beside you. And that is why his hesitation is actually the strongest proof of how deeply he feels. His heart is moving toward you, but his mind is begging him to slow down. Inside him, there are two forces pulling in opposite directions. One force is his heart, open, warm, overflowing, already leaning toward you with a sense of hope he hasn't felt in years. The other force is his mind, careful, wounded, trying to manage the pace so he doesn't lose control or repeat an old heartbreak. This push and pull is not confusion, it's protection. Because the more he feels for you, the more he realizes he cannot treat this casually. He doesn't want you to become another temporary memory. He doesn't want this connection to burn fast and fade. He doesn't want to rush only to lose what could have been something beautiful. So, he slows down, not to avoid you, but to avoid ruining something fragile and meaningful. He thinks, if I move too fast, I could break it. If I open up too quickly, I might overwhelm them. If I fall completely, I might not recover. But here's the truth he tries to silence. His heart already chose you, and now his mind is trying to catch up in the safest way possible. He isn't pulling away, he's preparing, softening, steadying himself so that when he steps forward, it's real, it's intentional, it's lasting. That's why his energy feels both eager and cautious. Why he shows affection, but also silence. Why he reaches out, but then retreats for a moment. It's not inconsistency, it's emotional pacing. He's trying to make sure his feelings for you don't outrun his ability to handle them. This is how the Ace of Cups works. A slow, gentle flood that fills the heart before the mind fully understands what's happening. And right now, his emotions are spilling over faster than he can manage. Which means one thing. The way he feels about you is already deeper than what he shows. His silence is not distance. His hesitation is not doubt. His pauses are not rejection. They are signs of how much he genuinely cares. He wants to move toward you, and he will. But when he does, it will be steady, certain, and honest, because he doesn't want a moment with you. He wants something that lasts. Why his heart feels calm, only with you. Something changes inside him when he interacts with you. It's subtle, soft, almost invisible from the outside, but unmistakable on the inside. With you, his heart doesn't feel chaotic. It doesn't feel pressured. It doesn't feel judged. It simply feels at peace. And that peace is exactly what pulls him deeper into the connection. He's not used to this feeling. Most people drain him, overwhelm him, or make him feel like he needs to perform, impress, or hide parts of himself. But with you, he can breathe. He can exhale. He can be fully himself without tightening his shoulders or putting up walls. You brings a calm energy that settles the noise in his mind, a softness that quiets the fears he carries, a presence that tells him without words, you're safe here. And that feeling, that emotional safety, is incredibly rare for him. You give his heart a place to rest, not because you try, not because you force anything, but because your natural energy fits perfectly with his emotional rhythm. He feels grounded when you are near, understood without explaining, seen without performing, accepted without conditions. This is why his emotions keep deepening, even when he tries to slow them down. Your connection is not loud or dramatic. It's gentle, healing, stabilizing. It feels like the emotional home he didn't know he needed until he met you. And deep inside, a quiet thought is forming. If I'm going to open my heart again, this is the kind of person I want to open it to. This is why he keeps coming back to you, drawn again and again to the comfort, the peace, the warmth he feels in your presence. Not because he's bored, not because he's unsure, but because you make his heart feel something rare, safe and alive at the same time. Why he stopped searching? once he finds your energy. Before you entered his life, his heart felt restless. He wasn't actively searching for love, but he was drifting. Emotionally hungry, emotionally guarded, emotionally tired. People came and went, but none of them touched anything meaningful inside him. Everything felt surface level, temporary, forgettable. But your energy hit him differently. It didn't rush him. It didn't overwhelm him. It didn't demand anything. It just felt right. Right in a way he couldn't explain, but immediately recognized. He didn't expect to feel this kind of alignment. Not now. Not with anyone. Not after everything he's been through. But the more he interacted with you, the more he felt his heart stopping its silent search. It's like his soul said, "Here, this is the energy you've been waiting for." You don't make him feel like he has to chase something. You don't create emotional chaos. You don't trigger old wounds. Instead, you give him emotional ease, emotional clarity, emotional safety, emotional warmth. And because of that, he finds himself releasing his need to hold back, releasing the urge to protect himself so fiercely, releasing the habit of keeping everyone at a distance. He realizes he doesn't want to look elsewhere because the connection he craved already exists with you. You're not one option. You're the person who makes his heart relax and open and feel again. He feels drawn to you, not out of curiosity, but out of recognition. You feel like someone his heart already knows. Someone who fits. Someone whose presence brings meaning instead of noise. And that's why he keeps returning to your energy again and again. Not because he's unsure, but because you feel like the right place to be. You're becoming his emotional anchor. As his feelings for you deepen, something fundamental shifts inside him. He starts relying on your presence in ways he doesn't fully understand yet. Not in a needy way, not in a dependent way, but in a way that feels natural, like his heart finally has a steady place to rest. There's a grounding energy about you that pulls him out of his overthinking, his worries, and the noise he carries in his mind. When life overwhelms him, your presence brings him back to center. When he feels emotionally scattered, your energy gathers him without saying a single word. You calm him in a way he didn't know he needed. And now he's starting to crave that calm. Not because he's weak, but because with you, he feels stronger, clearer, more aligned with who he truly is. Your energy anchors him. He finds himself wanting to share things with you he normally keeps to himself. The small frustrations, the random thoughts, the deeper emotions he rarely opens about. You make emotional expression feel safe, and he notices that his guard lowers around you without permission, without conscious effort, without fear. This never happens to him. Not this early, not this naturally, but with you. He doesn't feel the need to pretend he's always fine. He doesn't feel the need to hide the sensitive parts of himself. He doesn't feel the need to control every feeling. He can be real. And that realness is what creates the emotional bond he keeps trying and failing to slow down. You're becoming his quiet stability, his emotional balance point, the place where his heart feels understood instead of evaluated. He doesn't say this aloud, but internally he knows, when I'm with them, I don't feel alone. That realization pulls him even closer to you, not because he's attaching blindly, but because his soul recognizes the rare comfort you bring. You're not a distraction. You're not a temporary spark. You're becoming the person who steadies him in the most genuine way. And that kind of emotional anchor is something he does not want to lose. Why you feel like home to his heart. As his connection with you grows, he begins noticing something he can't ignore anymore. You feel like home to him, not in a possessive way, not in a dependent way, but in the deepest emotional sense. The feeling of belonging without trying, without forcing, without pretending. With you, he doesn't feel the pressure to be charming, interesting, or perfect. He just feels allowed to be. And that quiet acceptance is what binds him to you. He realizes he doesn't have to fight his emotions, or manage them, or hide them when you're near. Your presence doesn't demand effort. It invites honesty. He finds comfort in the way you listen, the way you respond, the way your energy meets his without judgment. And slowly, something inside him softens. He stops bracing for disappointment. He stops expecting chaos. He stops preparing for pain. You give him a reason to let his guard down and trust again. And that trust is everything. It's why his feelings deepen even when he tries to keep them under control. It's why he finds himself wanting to include you in his world, his routines, his thoughts, his future plans. He hasn't spoken out loud yet. It's why he imagines moments with you that feel warm and real, not fantasies, but possibility. When he thinks of you, he doesn't feel uncertainty. He feels clarity. He feels peace. He feels the quiet truth. This is someone I want to keep in my life. That thought alone makes him protective of the connection. Not in a jealous way, but in a cherishing way. He sees what this could become if handled with care. You're not passing through his life. You're settling into it. And he knows, deep in his emotional core, that your presence is not something he wants to lose. You've become the safe place his heart returns to, the warmth he didn't expect, the emotional home he stopped believing he would find. And that is why his feelings for you continue to rise no matter how hard he tries to slow them down. And that quiet acceptance is what binds him to you. He realizes he doesn't have to fight his emotions, or manage them, or hide them when you're near. Your presence doesn't demand effort. It invites honesty. He finds comfort in the way you listen, the way you respond, the way your energy meets his without judgment. And slowly, something inside him hinders. He stops bracing for disappointment. He stops expecting chaos. He stops preparing for pain. You give him a reason to let his guard down and trust again. And that trust is everything. It's why his feelings deepen even when he tries to keep them under control. It's why he finds himself wanting to include you in his world, his routines, his thoughts, his future plans. He hasn't spoken up loud yet. It's why he imagines moments with you that feel warm and real, not fantasies but possibilities. When he thinks of you, he doesn't feel uncertainty. He feels clarity. He feels peace. He feels the quiet truth. This is someone I want to keep in my life. That thought alone makes him protective of the connection. Not in a jealous way, but in a cherishing way. He sees what this could become if handled with care. You're not passing through his life, you're settling into it. And he knows, deep in his emotional core, that your presence is not something he wants to lose. You've become the safe place his heart returns to, the warmth he didn't expect, the emotional home he stopped believing he would find. And that is why his feelings for you continue to rise, no matter how hard he tries to slow them down. Why he sees you as someone unforgettable. When the Empress appears, it reveals one truth he can't hide. You awaken something rare inside him, a mix of admiration, desire, comfort, and quiet awe. He doesn't just like you, he's drawn to you in a way that feels deeper than simple attraction. The Empress represents a person whose presence stays in the mind, someone unforgettable, someone magnetic, someone who feels like warmth in human form. And that is exactly how he sees you. You're not just beautiful to him, you're comforting, you're soothing, you're grounding. Your energy has a softness that makes his heart loosen and a strength that makes him feel safe. You carry yourself with a natural grace that he can't ignore. There's something about you that feels effortlessly elegant, effortlessly warm, the kind of presence that makes him slow down without realizing it. When he looks at you, he doesn't just see a potential partner. He sees someone who embodies depth, emotion, and a kind of feminine power he deeply respects. You feel like a person who brings life wherever you go, through your voice, your expression, your presence, your calm. He notices the way you care, the way you speak, the way you carry empathy, even when you are quiet. And it touches him. Because the Empress doesn't represent loud beauty, it represents presence. A presence that nurtures, heals, and fills emotional space with something warm and meaningful. He feels seen by you in a gentle way. He feels understood without having to explain everything. He feels drawn to the softness and strength you carry at the same time. There's something healing about the way you exist, and that healing is what pulls him closer, day by day, moment by moment, feeling by feeling. You're the kind of person who stays in someone's mind long after the moment is over. And for him, you've already become a presence he can't forget. Why your presence melts his emotional defenses. The more time he spends around you, the more he feels something unusual happening inside him. His walls begin to soften. Not because you push, not because you demand, not because you try, but because your energy makes his emotional guard feel unnecessary. There's a warmth about you that slips past his defenses with almost no effort. You don't force him to open up. You simply make it safe for him to do so. Your voice, your tone, the way you respond, the softness in your eyes, the emotional maturity you carry, all of it makes him feel like he can finally let himself relax in ways he rarely allows with anyone else. You don't just attract him, you soothe him. And that soothing is exactly what melts his resistance. He realizes he doesn't feel the need to be guarded or distant with you. He doesn't feel the pressure to pretend he's stronger than he is. He doesn't feel judged for having emotions or wanting connection. You bring out his gentler side, the part of him that longs for warmth, for affection, for emotional closeness. He finds himself wanting to be honest with you, not because he's obligated, but because being open with you feels natural, almost effortless. That's the power of the Empress. You don't unlock people, you invite them to open, and he accepts that invitation without even realizing he's doing it. He feels safe to be vulnerable, safe to be imperfect, safe to show emotion, safe to be real. This emotional safety makes him feel closer to you on a level he can't explain. He begins to associate you with peace, with comfort, with tenderness. You become the person his heart relaxes around and the person his emotions rise toward. This is why he keeps thinking about you long after the moment has passed. You don't just catch his attention, you quiet his fears, you soften his edges. You awaken a longing for closeness that he tries so hard to suppress with others. He doesn't say this aloud, but internally he knows, I feel more myself when I'm with them. And that realization is the very beginning of deeper, lasting attachment. Why he keeps imagining a future with you, quietly, secretly, naturally. As his emotions settle into place, something even deeper begins forming. He starts imagining you in his future, not in a dramatic way, not in a rushed way, but in a quiet, natural, almost subconscious way. Moments appear in his mind without him trying. Sharing a meal with you, walking side by side, waking up to your voice, spending simple days that feel peaceful instead of complicated. It's never forced, it just appears. Because you feel like someone who fits into his life without rearranging it. He can see you in both his calm moments and his chaotic ones, and that's rare for him. Most people feel like a temporary spark. You feel like continuity. He imagines a connection that grows slowly, beautifully, authentically. A bond where affection deepens because it feels right, not because it's rushed. You're someone he can picture caring for, protecting, laughing with, supporting, building something meaningful with. And that vision doesn't scare him, it comforts him because the Empress doesn't represent fantasy. She represents real possibility, the kind that grows roots. He starts to wonder what it would feel like to share more of his world with you, to let you see the parts he hides from everyone else, to be emotionally present in a way he usually avoids. You awaken in him a desire for genuine closeness, not just attraction, not just chemistry, but warmth that lasts. He pictures conversations that stretch past midnight, mornings that feel peaceful, affection that feels honest, a bond built on trust, not tension, a partnership where he can breathe. Your presence softens his idea of love. It makes him believe that connection doesn't have to be dramatic in order to be real. Instead, it can be gentle, steady, nurturing, beautiful. And that beauty keeps pulling his heart towards you, even if he never says a word. Inside him, the thought grows quietly. Maybe this could become something real. And the longer he feels you, the stronger that possibility becomes. The emotional truth he hides, you feel like someone worth choosing. As his thoughts settle, as his emotions grow clearer, he reaches a quiet truth he hasn't said out loud. You feel like someone worth choosing, not someone temporary, not someone he simply likes, someone he can't replace with anyone else. He sees qualities in you that feel rare in this world. Your empathy, your calm strength, your emotional softness, your grounding presence, your ability to understand beyond the surface. These things stay with him. They shape the way he thinks about you when you're not there. They shape the way his heart leans towards you, even when he tries to stay rational. He begins to realize how different you are from the connections he's known. You don't drain him, you replenish him. You don't confuse him, you clarify him. You don't spark chaos, you bring emotional balance. You feel like someone who makes life gentler, calmer, more meaningful, without ever trying. He admires the way you carry warmth without losing self-respect, the way you show softness without letting anyone cross your boundaries, the way you nurture connection without demanding attention. This balance is exactly what draws him closer and deeper. And quietly, in the private space of his mind, he acknowledges something he's been avoiding. This person is important to me, more than I expected, more than I'm ready to admit. That realization awakens not just desire, but intention. He starts wanting to show up for you, to communicate better, to be consistent, to treat you with care, to move towards you instead of just thinking about you. Because with the Empress, love doesn't feel like a game. It feels like a choice, a meaningful one. And he's beginning to make that choice internally. Slowly, quietly, but unmistakably. You've become the person his heart pauses for, returns to, and softens around. And that is why his feelings for you are no longer something passing. There's something growing, something real, something alive, something he can't ignore anymore. The moment he realizes your value is different from anyone he's met. As his feelings deepen, there comes a moment when everything shifts for him. A moment when he realizes you're not someone he can approach casually. With you, there is a depth, a richness, quiet strength that demands respect without ever asking for it. You carry yourself with a kind of emotional maturity he rarely encounters. It's in the way you speak, the way you listen, the way you hold space for other people's emotions without losing your own center. And that presence hits him harder than he expected. He notices that you're not just kind, you're thoughtful, you're not just attractive, you're grounding. You're not just warm, you're understanding in a way that calms the chaos inside his mind. You have a way of making him feel seen without exposing him, supported without pressuring him, encouraged without controlling him. That balance is what sets you apart. It's rare, it's powerful, it's unforgettable. He feels that your attention is not something to play with. Your trust is not something to take lightly. Your presence is not something to approach with half effort or uncertain intentions. You're the kind of person who elevates someone's life simply by being in it. And that recognition awakens a protective instinct in him, not out of jealousy, but out of respect. He doesn't want to mishandle this. He doesn't want to rush and ruin it. He doesn't want to give you anything less than sincerity, because somewhere deep inside he knows, if I step toward this person, I have to show up fully. They deserve that. This is the exact moment when you stop being a simple crush, a passing interest, or a curious attraction. You become someone whose value he feels, emotionally, intuitively, almost spiritually. And that realization changes everything about the way he approaches you. Why he becomes careful with you, emotionally, mentally, and intentionally. As his perception of you deepens, you begin to affect him in a way he didn't expect. You make him careful, not cautious out of fear, but careful out of respect. He becomes more mindful of how he speaks to you, how he texts you, how he shows up, how he expresses himself. Because somewhere inside, he knows that your heart is not something to handle with half-effort energy. He senses the depth you carry, the emotional richness you bring into a connection, and he realizes that mishandling this would feel wrong to him. He doesn't want to disappoint you. He doesn't want to miscommunicate. He doesn't want to give you any impression that he's unsure or careless or approaching you casually. Your presence makes him more intentional. He double-checks his messages. He rethinks his timing. He becomes more aware of the energy he gives you. He notices how his words might land in your heart. And that awareness changes the entire dynamic for him. Because with the Empress, he feels a level of responsibility, a desire to treat you with the kind of intention you deserve. He may not say it outright, but internally he feels, I don't want to mess this up. I want to show her my best side. I need to be sincere, not impulsive. She deserves clarity, not confusion. This is why his approach to you becomes softer, slower, more deliberate. He starts choosing his actions instead of reacting. He starts considering your feelings instead of assuming. He starts valuing the connection instead of treating it lightly. There's something about you that awakens maturity in him, the kind that comes not from obligation, but from admiration. He respects the person you are. He respects the emotional space you offer. He respects the way you carry yourself with such quiet confidence. And that respect makes him want to rise to your level. You're not someone he wants to approach recklessly. You're someone he feels compelled to approach with care. Because deep inside, he recognizes the truth. This is the kind of person you don't take for granted. And he refuses to treat you like anything less. Why he feels emotionally drawn to you, even when he tries to stay composed. As he becomes more intentional with you, another truth begins to surface. He can't control how naturally he's drawn to you. No matter how much he tries to stay composed, or measured, or rational, his heart reacts to you in ways he didn't plan. It happens in small moments. The way you respond with warmth, the way your eyes soften when you listen, the way your presence quietly calms the room, the way you express yourself with depth instead of drama. These moments pull him in deeper without warning. He may appear steady on the outside, but inside, He feels an emotional gravity whenever you're near. It's not lust. It's not fantasy. It's not adrenaline. It's resonance. You match something in him he didn't know he was missing. A peaceful kind of closeness, a gentle kind of affection, a nurturing kind of energy that makes him feel understood without having to perform. And that resonance is what scares him and comforts him at the same time. He finds himself wanting to open up more, to share deeper thoughts, to be emotionally honest, to let you see the parts of him he usually hides from everyone. Because when he imagines letting you in, he doesn't feel exposed. He feels relieved. You give him a space where he doesn't need to be guarded. You give him a connection that feels emotionally safe, but also exciting. This is the paradox that draws him closer. You calm him and you spark him at the same time. It's rare for him to feel both comfort and desire in the same person, but with you, it blends smoothly, beautifully, and irresistibly. And deep in his heart, a thought begins to form. I trust him more than I expected, more than I should. He might not admit it, but the emotional pull is real, and it gets stronger every time he interacts with you. You've become the person who softens him, anchors him, and awakens feelings he didn't expect to feel again. And this emotional resonance, this pull, is why he keeps coming back to you in thoughts, in feelings, in quiet longing. Why he begins to see you as someone who could change his life. As his emotions crystallize, a deeper realization settles in. You're not just someone he likes. You're someone who could change his life. Not by demanding it, not by forcing anything, but simply by being who you are. He feels that if he lets you in fully, his emotional world would shift in a meaningful way, becoming softer, steadier, more grounded, more alive. Because you represent a kind of connection he rarely encounters. Warm but not overwhelming, intimate but not clingy, strong but not controlling, caring but not invasive. You offer presence instead of pressure, depth instead of drama, consistency instead of chaos. He senses that life beside you would feel richer, not louder, not heavier, but fuller. You carry qualities that inspire growth in him. Your emotional intelligence, your compassion, your quiet strength, your calm understanding. These things don't just attract him, they elevate him. And that elevation scares him a little because he knows it means the connection is real. But it also excites him because real connection is what he's been missing. He begins to imagine how his everyday life would feel with you in it. Your warmth in his mornings, your voice grounding his evenings, your empathy soothing his stress, your presence balancing the parts of him that slip into overthinking or emotional distance. You make him believe that love doesn't have to be painful or dramatic or unstable. With you, it feels safe. It feels meaningful. It feels like something worth protecting. And deep inside, a quiet intention forms. If I move toward this person, I need to do it right. Because you're not a fleeting attraction. You're a turning point. A person who brings emotional clarity, growth, and a sense of future he hasn't felt in a long time. You're the one who makes him think, my life could genuinely get better with this person beside me. And that realization changes everything about how he sees you. Not as an interest, but as a potential partner with real emotional value. Third card, Sword 4. Why he becomes quiet and what he's truly thinking about you when he pulls back. When the Four of Swords appears, it reveals a different side of him. The side that becomes silent not because he's losing interest, but because he's overwhelmed by what he feels. He goes into retreat mode. He withdraws inward. He pauses instead of acting quickly. And behind that quiet, he's thinking of you. Not casually, not lightly, but deeply, in a way that makes him step back to breathe, to process, to understand the intensity of what's happening inside him. You stir emotions in him that he can't ignore. So instead of rushing forward, he freezes. Not because he wants distance, but because he needs clarity. His silence is not avoidance, it's reflection. He's replaying moments with you, your voice, your reactions, the energy between you, trying to understand why this connection hits him harder than he expected. He asks himself, why does this affect me so much? Why do I feel drawn to them like this? Why do I keep thinking about what they meant? Why do I want more, but feel nervous about moving too fast? His quiet is a sign that your presence touches him deeply enough to make him stop and rethink everything. This is the kind of silence that happens when someone cares. Because the truth is, you don't make him uncertain, you make him vulnerable. Your energy stirs his emotions, awakens his hopes, unsettles his routine, and challenges the walls he's kept high for a long time. So he pauses because the feelings are real, and real feelings always make him reflect before he reacts. In this quiet space, he starts noticing things he overlooked before. How your words linger, how your presence calms him, how he feels safer opening up to you, how the connection feels deeper than he planned. And that realization is exactly why he pulls back. Not to disconnect, but to understand why you matter to him as much as you do. His silence is him trying to align his heart with his next step. And that next step is almost always toward you, not away from you. What he realizes about you while he's silent, the truth he discovers in stillness. As he steps back into silence, something unexpected happens. Your presence becomes clearer to him than ever before. In the quiet, he starts to recognize how deeply you've already entered his emotional space. He notices the small things first, the calm in your voice, the sincerity in your eyes, the steady warmth you carry, the way you make him feel grounded instead of pressured. These memories replay in his mind when he lies awake, when he's driving, when he's alone with his thoughts. And each time, he understands a little more why he needed this pause. Your energy affects him more than he admits. It forces him to confront parts of himself he usually avoids. His longing for closeness, his fear of vulnerability, his desire for something real. In silence, he finally hears the emotions he keeps suppressing. He realizes that the comfort he feels with you isn't normal for him. It's rare, it's intimate, it's meaningful. And that meaning comes with weight. The weight of wanting to do this right. The weight of wanting to be honest. The weight of not wanting to lose someone like you by acting impulsively. He starts to see how you calm parts of his heart he didn't even know needed calming. He starts to feel how your presence lingers long after the conversation ends. And slowly, he understands the real reason for his withdrawal. It's not confusion, it's emotional impact. You hit deeper than expected, deeper than planned, deeper than he's ready to admit. And while he's quiet, his heart whispers the truth he can't ignore. This connection matters to me more than I thought. His silence doesn't distance him. It pulls him closer to the truth of how much you already mean to him. Why he fears moving too fast, and what that fear actually means about his feelings. While he's silent, a deeper emotional truth rises. He's afraid of moving too fast, not because he doubts you, not because he isn't interested, but because something about you feels real to him. And real connection requires courage he's still mastering. You awaken desires he usually keeps locked away. The desire to be understood, the desire to be close, the desire to trust, the desire to let someone in without performing or pretending. But those desires come with fears too. What if I mess this up? What if they see my flaws? What if I can't give enough? What if this becomes deeper than I know how to handle? His silence is him negotiating with himself, balancing longing with fear, emotion with caution, hope with vulnerability. The truth he won't say aloud is this: you matter enough to make him nervous. He doesn't want to hurt you. He doesn't want to mislead you. He doesn't want to step forward only to pull back later. That's why he hesitates. He wants to be ready before he shows you how deeply he feels. This hesitation is not distance. It's meaningfulness. It shows that he sees the emotional weight of a connection with you. You're not a casual option. You're not someone he can approach half-heartedly. And that's exactly why he pauses, because he cares about how this unfolds. His fear is actually a sign of his sincerity. He's not scared of you. He is scared of the depth of his own feelings. He knows that once he steps towards you, it won't be shallow. It won't be temporary. It won't be something he can easily walk away from. You're the kind of person he sees himself falling for. And that is why his heart whispers caution even as it leans towards you. Don't rush this. Don't ruin something real. What he decides after the silence, the emotional conclusion he reaches about you. As his period of silence comes to an end, he reaches a conclusion he couldn't see clearly at the beginning. A realization shaped by reflection, emotion, and the quiet truth of his own heart. He understands now that his feelings for you are not something he can ignore or minimize or push aside. In stillness, your presence didn't fade. It grew stronger. Your energy lingered. Your warmth echoed. Your influence stayed with him in moments he expected to forget you. And that alone tells him everything. If you were just a passing interest, the silence would have diluted the emotion. Instead, you became clearer to him, more meaningful, more grounding, more emotionally significant. He realizes that his hesitation was not about you. It was about him trying to prepare his heart for something real. Because you represent a connection he doesn't want to mishandle. Now, after reflecting, his mind becomes steady. His emotions settle, his fears soften, and a quiet intention forms. I want to move toward this person, carefully, sincerely, but definitely. This is not a rushed decision. This is not impulse. This is alignment. His heart and mind finally agreeing on what they want. He decides. He wants to communicate better. He wants to show more consistency. He wants to be emotionally present. He wants to take a step towards you instead of away from you. He understands that connection with you requires honesty and effort, and he's willing to rise to that. Because during his silence, he saw something important. You didn't disappear from his thoughts. You didn't fade from his heart. You didn't weaken. You remained. And someone who remains in his quiet moments is someone worth choosing in his waking life. His silence was not the end. It was the beginning. The moment he realized how much you matter and how much he wants to keep you in his world.
If you chose the third card, let's start reading his effort, his intention, his quiet devotion. The Eight of Pentacles reveals this first truth. He is not taking you lightly, not your energy, not this connection. If you're single, he sees you as someone worth investing time and effort into. He's observing you carefully, not to judge you, but to understand you. If you're in a situationship, talking stage, he wants to build this slowly, step by step, brick by brick. Not rushing, not playing games. He wants this to grow the right way. If you're in a relationship, he's thinking about the future. Real stability, real plans, real commitment. Everything he does right now is for the long term. If he's a guy friend, he's already investing way too much energy for this to be just friendship.
This is emotional labor. This is care. This is devotion. This is more than a friend. While he's quietly working on this connection, this card shows effort, but also restraint. He's holding back more than you realize. If you're single, he thinks rushing toward you could ruin something precious. So instead, he's improving himself first so he can approach you properly. If you're in the talking stage, he is studying your patterns, your reactions, your emotional language. He wants to move closer, but only when he feels he can meet you at your level. If you're in a relationship, he's working on being a better partner for you, more stable, more grounded, more dependable. He wants to be the person you can lean on without fear. If he's a guy friend, he's trying to manage his feelings and failing. This effort he's making, it's not for the friendship, it's for you. While he acts distant, even when he cares, he's not distant because he doesn't care. He's distant because he cares too much. He fears disappointing you. He wants to show you the best version of himself, not the messy, insecure parts he hides from everyone else. So he pulls back until he feels good enough. He's preparing something long-term. This isn't casual interest. This is slow, intentional investment. When a man moves like this, it means he sees you as someone he could build with, not someone temporary. He's trying to prove himself, but he's not trying to impress people. He's trying to impress you. Your opinion of him matters more than he lets on. He's scared of one thing, not rejection, not failure. He's scared that you might not see how serious he actually is. What his effort truly means, the emotional truth behind his actions. At the end of all his quiet work, one truth becomes clear. He's choosing you in his own way. It may not look dramatic, it may not look loud, but the intention is real. He doesn't waste effort on people who don't matter. The Eight of Pentacles is the card of focused energy. He won't invest time, attention, or emotional labor into someone he doesn't see a future with. The fact that he's consistent, even in small ways, means you've already become important to him. His patience is a sign of respect. He's not dragging his feet. He's making sure he gets this right. He wants to show up as someone solid, emotionally steady, dependable, worthy of your trust. He's building confidence to move closer. His silence isn't avoidance. His slow pace isn't hesitation. It's preparation. He's aligning himself so he can give you something real. Not confusion, not inconsistency, not half-hearted affection. His heart is already leaning toward you. Even if he hasn't expressed it, his effort says everything. I want this, I want you, and I'm willing to work for it. This is the energy of a man who sees value in you and is preparing himself to match it. Why he's willing to put in the work, even when you don't ask for anything. The Eight of Pentacles reveals a deeper layer of his heart. He wants to earn you. Not because you are demanding and not because you expect anything, but because he feels you deserve someone who shows up with consistency and sincerity. He feels your value and it makes him step up. You're not an ordinary connection to him. You're not someone he can approach casually. He senses depth in you, emotional intelligence, self-respect, warmth, soft strength. And that makes him think, I need to be better if I want to stand beside someone like that. You inspire him to improve himself. This is rare. A man doesn't work on himself unless someone truly moves him. With you, he thinks about things like stability, communication, maturity, emotional availability, long-term potential. He's not improving for the world. He's improving for you. He's preparing a version of himself he's proud of. He knows that if he steps toward you, he wants to give you a connection that feels steady, secure, intentional, and real. He wants to become a man who can handle your depth without shutting down, disappearing, or giving a half effort. And that preparation starts now. In silence, in small routines, in his private thoughts, where he imagines the future he hopes to share with you. His effort is his love language. He may not be expressive with words. He may not be dramatic with gestures, but he shows affection through investment, time, energy, focus, and personal growth. The Eight of Pentacles says it clearly. I'm working on myself because I want this to work. Why he moves slowly and why that slow pace is actually commitment. A man who doesn't care moves fast. A man who does care moves slow because he wants to do it right. The Eight of Pentacles shows he is deliberately pacing himself with you, not because he's unsure, but because he's serious. He doesn't want to make promises he can't keep. He knows your heart is not something to play with, so he chooses every step carefully. He's not here to rush in, make a mess, then disappear. He wants to move forward only when he knows he can stay. He's aligning his life around the idea of you. You may not see it, but he's already making small adjustments, improving his habits, organizing his schedule, stabilizing his emotions, becoming more responsible, planning ahead more carefully. These are not random changes. They're changes he makes because you exist in his future thinking. He's afraid to lose you by moving too fast. He knows that rushing creates misunderstanding, pressure, confusion. He doesn't want you to mistake his eagerness for immaturity. So he slows down, not to distance himself, but to get aligned with you emotionally and mentally. This slow pace is not hesitation, it's intention. He's studying connection like a craft, just like the man in the card who perfects his work. One careful step at a time, he's learning you. Your pace, your comfort zone, your emotional needs, your boundaries, your love language, he wants to meet you with accuracy, not guesswork. Why he pays attention to every detail when it comes to you. The Eight of Pentacles is the card of precision, focus, and careful energy. And that's exactly how he treats you, with attention to detail most people never get from him. He notices things about you without trying. The shift in your tone, the way your eyes soften when you smile, what makes you comfortable, what makes you tense, what brings you joy, what drains your energy. To him, these details matter because you matter. He studies your emotional language. He pays attention to how you express affection, how you receive affection, how you communicate when you're hurt, how you open up when you feel safe. He's learning your rhythm so he can match it, not overwhelm it. This is how a man acts when he respects your depth. He notices your boundaries and honors them. He's not trying to push you, pressure you, or claim you. He wants to move at the pace where you feel seen, safe, and valued. He's not just chasing feelings. He's honoring the structure of the connection. That's maturity. He wants to give you the right kind of attention, not the loud, shallow kind, not the temporary, impulsive kind, but the grounded, consistent, emotionally aware kind that actually builds something real. He's investing energy where he sees long-term potential, and that's with you. Your presence sharpens his focus. You make him want to show up better. You make him want to grow. You make him want to pay attention to the parts of himself he usually ignores. He doesn't do this for everyone. He does it because you awaken intention in him, what his effort truly reveals about his feelings for you. After all the quiet work, all the slow steps, all the self-adjustment, one truth becomes undeniable. He's preparing for a real connection with you, not a casual one, not a temporary one, not a confusing one, a real one. He doesn't invest effort in people he doesn't value. The Eight of Pentacles is the card of chosen investment, time, energy, patience. He gives these only to someone who matters deeply. And right now, that someone is you. He's laying emotional groundwork. He's building stability before stepping closer. He wants to offer you a connection that feels dependable, clear, and emotionally mature. He's not showing off. He's preparing. That's the difference. He's already imagining a future with you. Small things give him away. The plans he makes a little differently. The personal improvements he commits to. The quiet ways he tries to become a better version of himself. These are not random actions. They're signs of someone thinking long term. He wants to meet you at your level. He's not intimidated by your value. He's motivated by it. You inspire him to rise, to grow, to mature, to give more than he used to. This is what it looks like when a man sees a woman as someone meaningful. His effort is love in slow motion. It may look quiet, it may look subtle, it may not be dramatic, but it is sincere, it is intentional, it is real. His heart isn't rushing, it's building, and everything he's building is pointing in one direction toward you. The moment he realizes he's falling for you without meaning to, somewhere along the way, his quiet effort turns into something deeper, something he didn't expect. He realizes he's falling for you. Not because he planned it, not because you pushed, but because your presence kept slipping into his everyday thoughts. You became part of his mind without trying. He catches himself thinking about you during ordinary moments, when he's working, when he's driving, when he's about to sleep, when he wakes up, when he checks his phone without even meaning to. You appear in his mind the same way a melody lingers, soft, subtle, but impossible to ignore. Your energy feels like comfort he didn't know he needed. There's something about the way you move, the way you speak, the way you exist that calms him in a world that rarely slows down for him. And he starts craving that calmness. Your presence feels like emotional warmth, grounding energy, quiet support, gentle understanding. He didn't expect it, but he feels it. His feelings don't rush, they deepen. With other people, his emotions burn fast and fade quickly. With you, they grow layer by layer, moment by moment, thought by thought, solid, steady, undeniable. This is the kind of affection he can't dismiss or talk himself out of. He begins to want more than potential. The Eight of Pentacles shifts here. This is no longer interest. This is intention. He wants real connection, real closeness, real consistency, a real chance with you. Even if he moves slowly, his heart is leaning toward you faster than he admits. Why he starts seeing you as someone worth choosing, not just one thing. As his feelings deepen, something important shifts inside him. He stops seeing you as someone he likes and starts seeing you as someone he should choose. This is a huge emotional step for him. You feel different from anyone he known, not louder, not flashier, not more dramatic, just deeper, more sincere, more comforting, more emotionally resonant. You bring a softness that stays with him long after the moment ends. Your energy doesn't fade when you're not around. It lingers. That lingering is dangerous to him in the best way. You awaken his desire for stability. He's not the type to suddenly imagine a future with everyone, but with you. He catches glimpses, sharing meals, quiet evenings together, inside jokes, stability, ease, peace, affections that grow naturally. He doesn't fantasize, he envisions. That's different. It means his heart is starting to take you seriously. You make him want to be emotionally available. He's aware of his walls. He knows he holds back. But something about you makes him want to open, not because he's pressured, but because it feels safe. You make emotional honesty look simple, natural, possible. And that possibility creates hope in him. Hope he didn't expect to feel. He begins to see you as worth the effort. Everything he's doing, The patience, the self-improvement, the reflection, the slow but steady approach. It's all because you're someone he doesn't want to lose by being careless. You're not a temporary feeling. You're a meaningful presence. And he knows it. Why he slowly becomes devoted to you, even before he admits his feelings. As his emotions grow clearer, something subtle but powerful happens. He starts becoming devoted to you without even realizing it. Not in an obsessive way, not in a dramatic way, but in the quiet, steady way a man gives his heart when he feels safe. He prioritizes you in small ways. He thinks about you before making decisions. He adjusts his schedule without mentioning it. He replies more thoughtfully, listens more carefully, and pays attention to the smallest details of what you say. This is not coincidence. This is investment. He becomes protective, emotionally, silently. He doesn't want to overwhelm you. He doesn't want to cross boundaries, but he does feel protective of you. Your feelings, your energy, your comfort, your space. He holds you with respect, not control. That's devotion, not possession. He wants to support you, even without credit. He'll try to help you, encourage you, comfort you, not for recognition, but because he genuinely wants to make your life easier. He wants to be a steady presence for you, someone you can rely on, someone you feel safe with. That desire is a sign of deepening emotion. You inspire him to grow emotionally. He begins asking himself, how can I show up better? How can I be someone worthy of this connection? What do I need to work on in myself? You make him want to evolve, not for approval, but because he sees himself building something meaningful with you in the future. This is rare. Most people don't inspire that in him. You do. His heart leans towards you more each day. Little by little, he finds himself thinking, I want to be there. I want to show up. I want to give more. I want this to last. This is the moment when affection turns into intention, the shift from liking you to wanting something real with you. The emotional conclusion he reaches, the choice his heart makes quietly. As everything inside him settles, a quiet but powerful truth forms. He doesn't just want you, he's choosing you. Not loudly, not dramatically, but sincerely. His heart makes the choice before his words ever do. You feel like someone worth building a life with. You don't feel temporary. You don't feel chaotic. You don't feel risky. You feel meaningful, grounded, warm, safe, real. You feel like someone he could share his days with, not just his moments. His slow pace was never hesitation. It was preparation. He wasn't stalling. He wasn't avoiding. He was aligning his emotions, aligning his life, aligning himself so he can show up with consistency and clarity. He knows you deserve a man who's stable, not impulsive, and he wants to be that. He starts imagining you in the long term, not in fantasies, but in practical reality, sharing routines, building habits, supporting each other, laughing together, comforting each other, growing side by side. Life with you feels peaceful instead of heavy. That's rare for him. You inspire commitment, not confusion. When he thinks of you, he doesn't feel anxious. He feels steady. He feels drawn, pulled, guided towards you in a way he can't deny. Your presence feels like a future he actually wants. His heart's final truth. If he moves towards you, it will be with sincerity. If he steps closer, it will be with purpose. If he loves you, it will be with depth. Because somewhere along the way, without fanfare, without even realizing it fully, you became the person he wants to invest in. His effort was never random. It was affection taking shape as intention. The second card, King of Wands, appears, The moment he feels a surge of desire and why he can't ignore you anymore. When the King of Wands appears, it reveals one undeniable truth. You activate something powerful in him, a mix of attraction, respect, and a deep instinct to pursue you. You trigger the part of him that doesn't hesitate, the part that claims, the part that bleeds, the part that burns quietly but intensely. You ignite his confidence, you make him feel more alive, more masculine, more focused, more sure of what he wants. Around you, he doesn't feel lost. He feels directed. You give him a sense of purpose. You stir his desire, but not just physically. Yes, the King of Wands is attraction, but this isn't shallow desire. It's deeper. It's intentional. It's emotional heat. He feels pulled toward you in a way that blends curiosity, admiration, passion, respect, longing. You're not just interesting, you're captivating. Your energy challenges him in the best way. You don't chase, you don't cling, you don't lower your value. That drives him wild. That makes him take you seriously. You stimulate him mentally, emotionally, energetically. This is rare for him and irresistible. You awaken his leadership energy. He wants to show up for you, guide you, protect you, make moves toward you instead of waiting. You tap into the part of him that wants to impress you, not through words, but through action. He feels drawn to step up because of you. You bring out the best version of him, a man who's bold, decisive, and unafraid of emotion. He sees you as someone worth pursuing with intention and confidence. And that realization is the spark that sets everything else in motion. Why he watches you more closely than he admits. Even when he looks calm, his attention is never casual with you. He notices everything. The way you speak, the way you move, the way your energy shifts when you enter a room. He pays attention because something in you pulls at him instinctively. You activate his hunter's intuition. The King of Wands is a man who doesn't chase everyone, only those who genuinely stand out. And you do. Not because you try, but because your presence hits something deep inside him. You feel rare. You feel meaningful. You feel like someone he shouldn't overlook. You make him imagine possibilities around you. His mind can't help but wonder. What would it feel like to be close to them? What would our chemistry be like? What kind of connection could we build together? This isn't fantasy. It's desire turning into intention. Your independence attracts him even more. He respects strength. He respects self-control. He respects someone who has their own path and their own identity. And you have that. You live your life with your own rhythm, and that makes him want to match you, not consume you. The truth is, he's trying not to reveal how much he feels. He holds himself back. He hides the intensity. He keeps a straight face. But inside, there is a quiet burn he can't extinguish. You are the spark, and he knows it. Why your mystery doesn't push him away? It pulls him in deeper. The more he tries to read you, the more fascinated he becomes. You don't reveal everything. You don't over-explain. You don't cling for attention. And that uncertainty doesn't scare him. It excites him. You feel like a challenge, not a problem. Some people feel complicated in a draining way. You don't. You feel complex in an intriguing way, like someone with depth, history, layers, and meaning. You feel like someone worth understanding, someone worth approaching with intention, not impulse. He senses strength beneath your calm. You're composed, but you're not cold. You're gentle, but not fragile. You're open-hearted, yet you protect yourself wisely. This balance is incredibly rare. And the King of Wands is drawn to rare things, especially rare people. He can predict you, and he loves that you don't react in the ways that others usually do. You don't feed his ego, but you don't challenge him in a disrespectful way either. Instead, you keep him awake, focused, curious. You make him think. And men like him fall hardest for the people who make them think. Your energy makes him want to step forward. He senses that you won't chase, so it awakens something primal inside him. The desire to approach, to initiate, to lead, to show up as someone worth your time. Your silence doesn't push him away. It pulls him in. And that pull gets stronger every day. The moment his desire turns into determination. With you, his feelings don't fade. They intensify. Not with chaos, but with clarity. He realizes something simple yet powerful. He doesn't just want you. He wants to choose you. You awaken his devotion, not just attraction. At first, he felt the spark, the chemistry, the pull, but now, the desire has matured into something deeper. Respect, admiration, loyalty, and a strong urge to protect what he feels for you. You don't inspire games, you inspire commitment. He sees you as someone he wants to move toward, not someday, not eventually, but soon. He feels ready to take steps, even small ones, to close the distance between you and him. With you, his usual hesitation fades. His confidence rises, his intentions sharpen. You make him brave. Your energy aligns with his future, not his past. You don't remind him of old patterns, old mistakes, old disappointments. You feel new, refreshing, grounded, empowering. He sees a future with you that feels alive, a connection with motion, passion, and purpose. His heart's final truth. Even if he doesn't voice it yet, something in him already knows. You're the one he would pursue if he truly followed his feelings. And slowly, quietly, steadily, he is preparing to do exactly that. The attraction he tries to control, but can't. On the surface, he looks composed, confident, unbothered. But that's just the surface. Inside, there's a tension he feels only around you, a mix of desire, curiosity, and something deeper he can't name yet. This is the kind of pull he can't switch off. What? He feels a physical reaction to your presence. Not necessarily in a dramatic way, but in subtle moments. His heartbeat shifts, his focus narrows, his energy sharpens. It's the instinctive response of a man who feels chemistry before he has the words for it. Your presence affects him more than he expected. He becomes more aware of himself when you're around. The way he stands, the way he talks, the way he moves. He may not admit it, but he becomes hyper-aware, not out of insecurity, but out of interest. You bring out the best behavior version of him without even trying. That says a lot. He feels drawn to you in a way he can't rationalize. You're not just attractive, you're compelling. Something about you touches his emotional instinct, the part of him that reacts first and thinks later. You make him feel alive in a way that's both thrilling and disorienting. You awaken the part of him that wants to lead. The King of Wands, energy isn't passive, it isn't unsure, it isn't timid, and around you, he feels that fire rising. He wants to initiate, he wants to impress, he wants to move toward you with intention. You bring that out of him just by existing. Why he keeps returning to thoughts of you, even when he tries not to, no matter how busy he is, how distracted he gets, or how much he tries to focus elsewhere, his mind circles back to you. Over and over. It's not obsession, it's resonance. You leave an emotional imprint he can't shake off. Your presence lingers in his memory. He remembers small details, tiny interactions, the tone of your voice, your expression, your warmth, your calm. The moments with you don't fade like they do with others. They stay. They echo. They replay. That's not normal for him, and he knows it. He feels safe with you, but also excited. Most people give him one or the other. Comfort but no spark. Spark but no stability. You give him both. That combination is extremely rare for him. You feel like warmth and adrenaline at the same time. You feel like home and adventure in one person. He senses emotional compatibility. He doesn't overthink this, but he feels it intuitively. You understand him. You match him. You don't overwhelm him. You don't drain him. You feel like someone whose energy blends with his instead of clashing against it. That's why his interest grows instead of fading. He feels pulled towards you even in silence. When there's no contact, no messages, no conversation, the pull doesn't disappear. It becomes stronger because your absence doesn't create distance. It creates longing, and that longing is what slowly transforms simple attraction into real desire. The jealousy he hides and why it reveals how deeply he feels for you. He acts confident, fearless, unaffected. But that's an image, not the truth. Deep down, he feels a quiet fear that someone else might see your value before he gathers the courage to move. This isn't insecurity, it's attachment. He gets tense when he imagines you with someone else. He doesn't show it, but he feels it. That sharp, sudden twist in the chest, that alertness, that instinctive protectiveness. It's the emotional signal of a man who cares more than he intended to. You matter, and that scares him a little. Your independence triggers his desire to claim. He knows you don't need him. You stand strong on your own. You shine without validation, and that makes him want you more because he wants to be chosen, not needed. He wants to be the man you prefer, not the man you rely on out of convenience. This difference hits him deeply. He feels competitive energy rising. He doesn't want to admit it, but the King of Wands is naturally territorial, not possessive, not controlling, but protective of what he values. And you've become something he values. He feels motivated to step up, to assert himself, to show his presence in your life more clearly. He fears losing you before he even has you. This is the hidden truth he never says out loud. You matter enough to make him afraid. Afraid to wait too long. Afraid someone else might notice you. Afraid he'll miss his chance because of his own hesitation. This fear is the clearest sign of his emotional investment. You don't make him insecure. You make him realize what he could lose. The moment he realizes he can't replace you, no matter who else appears. At some point, he tries to distance himself, just to test his feelings. But every time he steps back, something unexpected happens. No one else feels like you. Not even close. The conversations feel lighter. The connection feels weaker. The spark feels dull. And that's when it hits him with full clarity. You're not one of many. You're the one his heart keeps returning to. Your energy stands out in a way he can't ignore. It's not just beauty, not just personality, not just chemistry. It's your presence, your emotional rhythm, your calm confidence, your depth, your sincerity. He doesn't find this often, and he knows it. That rarity is what makes him stay emotionally locked on you. You make him want to become a better man. Around others, he stays the same, predictable, unmoved. But around you, he feels inspired to rise, to upgrade his life, to mature emotionally, to offer something real. You bring out the version of him he actually wants to be. And that transformation is not something he overlooks. His desire turns into commitment. Quietly but surely, he may not announce it. He may not rush. He may not confess impulsively. But inside, the decision has already formed. If he chooses someone, he wants it to be you. Not because it's easy, but because it feels right. Because you bring meaning to his fire, his final emotional truth. Even if he hides it, even if he plays it calm, even if he stays silent for now, his heart has already made its quiet promise. I don't want to lose them. And for a king of wands, that is the moment desire becomes loyalty. You've become the person who shifts his future, not just his feelings. The third card, the strength card, appears. The gentle power you have over him, the kind he never expected. When the strength card appears, it reveals a unique truth. You affect him in a way no one else does. Not through pressure, not through intensity, but through calmness, warmth, and emotional grace. You don't force anything, yet he feels himself softening, opening, trusting, in a way he rarely allows. You bring peace to a man who hides his storms. He carries more inside than he lets the world see. Stress, fears, pressure, self-doubt, old wounds. But around you, something changes. Your presence feels grounding, like he can breathe again, like he doesn't have to perform, like he can simply be. This is not a small thing. This is emotional safety. You calm his fire instead of fueling it. Other people challenge him or exhaust him or drain him. You soothe him. You steady him. You make his emotions settle instead of spiral. Your energy feels like soft hands on a tense heart. That softness is exactly what he needs, even if he rarely admits it. Your strength is quiet, not loud. You're not controlling. You're not demanding. You're not overpowering. But you have this gentle firmness, a patience, a resilience, a kindness he deeply respects. You remind him that true strength isn't force, it's presence. And he feels that. He feels emotionally safe with you, a rare feeling for him. He may act strong, confident, in control, but emotionally, he trusts only a few. And somehow, you've become one of those few. You make honesty feel easy. You make vulnerability feel safe. You make connection feel possible. He doesn't feel judged by you. He feels understood. And that alone pulls him towards you more than he expected. Why he lets his guard down with you, something he rarely does with anyone. He's used to holding everything in, his worries, his stress, his emotions. He's learned to survive by staying strong, staying composed, staying in control. But with you, that armor starts to harden. He doesn't feel the need to hide the human parts of himself. Your presence makes him feel seen, not judged. When you listen, he feels understood. When you speak, he feels reassured. When you're near him, he feels steadier, like his emotions finally have space to rest. You don't criticize, you don't pressure, you don't demand perfection. You accept him in a way he isn't used to. That acceptance is powerful. You balance him emotionally. His fire, your calm, his movement, your grounding, his intensity, your softness. Together, this creates a harmony he didn't even know he needed. You don't diminish his strength, you refine it. He trusts you with parts of himself he hides from the world, his fears, his doubts, his past wounds, his unspoken hopes. You don't drag these out of him, he volunteers them without realizing he is. That only happens when a man feels deeply safe, and that level of safety is rare for him. You make vulnerability feel like courage, not weakness. Most people make him guard his heart. You make him open it. Most people drain him. You restore him. Most people make emotion complicated. You make them simple. With you, vulnerability doesn't feel dangerous. It feels natural. He might not say it aloud, but emotionally, he has already begun to lean on you. Why your gentle energy pulls him in deeper, even when he tries to stay composed. He doesn't fall because of drama or chaos. He falls because of calm, your quiet confidence, your emotional steadiness, your soft but grounded presence. You make love feel less like a risk and more like a home. Your softness disarms him in a way he can't resist. You're not forceful. You're not overwhelming. You're not intense. Yet somehow you have a grip on his heart stronger than anyone who ever tried to pursue him aggressively. He can ignore pressure, but he can't ignore gentleness. Your softness melts something inside him he thought was unbreakable. You awaken his protective instinct. Without needing protection, he sees your strength, your independence, your wisdom, your emotional intelligence. But he also senses your vulnerability, the delicate parts you share only with people you trust. That combination hits him deeply. It makes him want to stand beside you, not to save you, but to support you. You give him emotional direction. When he's around you, his mind slows down, his emotions sort themselves, his heart stops running in 10 different directions. You make him feel organized on the inside. He's not used to someone who brings clarity instead of confusion. You're a stabilizing force in a world that drains him. He sees a future with you that feels peaceful, not pressured. He doesn't picture arguments. He pictures understanding. He doesn't picture chaos. He pictures warmth. He doesn't picture battles. He pictures partnership. You represent a kind of love that heals instead of hurts. And that realization makes him fall deeper than he intended. The moment he realizes your love feels like peace, not pressure, there's a quiet shift inside him, a feeling he can't ignore anymore. With you, love doesn't feel heavy. It feels healing. You don't add chaos to his life. You remove it. You don't drain him emotionally. You recharge him. Being near you feels like resting in sunlight. Warm, gentle, steady, safe. He sees emotional maturity in you, and it changes him. You don't react impulsively. You don't demand constant attention. You don't play emotional games. You respond with compassion, understanding, and balanced energy. You show him what healthy connection looks like. And for the first time in a long time, he feels ready for that kind of love. You make him feel accepted in a way he didn't know he needed. Not for what he does, not for how strong he is, not for the image he carries, but for who he actually is when he's tired, quiet, unguarded, and human. Your acceptance is what pulls him in deeper than passion ever could. Your connection softens him, but never weakens him. You don't overpower him. You don't diminish him. You don't control him. Instead, you inspire him to be a calmer, wiser, more grounded version of himself. You bring out the man he wants to be, and that feels sacred to him. His final truth, even without dramatic confessions, even without loud declarations, his heart has already made its quiet commitment. This is someone I want in my life. Not because he needs you to fix anything, but because life feels better, lighter, and more meaningful with you in it. Why his feelings for you don't fade. They deepen slowly, quietly, steadily. The Strength card speaks of emotions that don't rush, don't explode, don't burn out. Instead, they grow like roots, slow, steady, unshakable. That's how he feels about you. His affection doesn't spike. It expands, quietly, consistently, with surprising depth. You become a comforting presence in his mind, even when he's busy, even when life gets chaotic, even when he tries not to think about emotions. You appear in his thoughts like a soft echo. You calm him, you steady him, you remind him of something pure. Your energy feels like a refuge he didn't know he needed. He trusts your emotional stability. You don't judge quickly. You don't react impulsively. You don't push or pressure. You handle things with patience, grace, and intelligence. This gives him space to breathe emotionally, something he rarely gets from anyone else. He feels safe around you because your presence doesn't demand anything. Your compassion pulls him closer than passion ever could. Passion ignites quickly, but compassion keeps a man coming back. And you have that. Your warmth touches him deeper than physical chemistry. Your understanding makes him feel valued. Your gentleness makes him open in a way he usually resists. With you, love feels like comfort, not chaos. He senses a long-term possibility with you, not because he fantasizes, not because he forces it, not because he feels lonely, but because your emotional rhythm matches his inner needs. And that alignment makes him wonder, what would it feel like to truly build something with them? That question is the beginning of real attachment. Why he watches you carefully, not to judge you, but to understand you. He doesn't rush toward you, but he doesn't pull away either. Instead, he observes you, quietly, intentionally, though with growing curiosity. Not because he doubts you, but because he wants to understand your heart. Your calm confidence fascinates him. You don't chase, you don't panic, you don't try to impress, you just are. And that naturalness draws him in. You carry a quiet power, a strength wrapped in gentleness that he finds deeply attractive. It makes him want to understand you more. He studies how you react emotionally. He notices your patience, your kindness, your emotional intelligence, your ability to stay grounded even when things get messy. This isn't something he sees often in people. And the more he sees it, the more he realizes you're different. Not loud different, rare different. Your presence softens his defenses. He's cautious by nature. He protects his heart. He evaluates before he engages. But you slip past his emotional armor without force. You make vulnerability feel safe, almost effortless. He's not used to that, and it keeps pulling him closer. He feels emotionally aligned with you. He may not have the perfect words for it, but he feels it deeply. Your energy fits it. Your rhythm matches his. Your heart feels compatible with his inner world. You don't overwhelm him, you balance him. And that balance is what makes him return to your presence again and again. How you heal him emotionally without even trying. There's a part of him he keeps hidden from the world. The exhausted side, the weary side, the part that's been carrying too much for too long. He never shows this, not to friends, not to family, not to anyone. But around you, that invisible tension begins to loosen. Your presence makes his heavy thoughts lighter. He doesn't need comforting words. He doesn't need grand gestures. He doesn't need explanations. Just being near you makes his mind quieter, his breathing deeper, his emotions more centered. You're like emotional gravity. You pull him back into balance. Your calm energy restores parts of him he thought were gone. Strength isn't loud, it's silent, steady, grounded. And that's exactly what you bring into his world. You don't fix him, you don't heal him, but you make healing possible. Being around you reminds him of peace, a feeling he thought he no longer deserved. He feels emotionally replenished by you. Where others drain him, you refill him. Where others take, you soften. Where others overwhelm, you soothe. You give him back little pieces of strength he forgot he had. This is why he cannot forget you. Your patience touches him on a level deeper than attraction. You don't rush him. You don't push him. You don't demand emotional fireworks. You simply allow things to unfold naturally, softly, steadily. This patience is something he's never truly experienced and is changing him quietly but profoundly. You heal the part of him that feared intimacy. Before you, love felt risky, overwhelming, too exposed. With you, love feels gentle, safe, human, possible. He starts to realize he doesn't need to protect himself the way he used to. Because with you, his heart is not in danger. It's at rest. The quiet moment he realizes he wants you in his future. There comes a point where his emotions stop feeling confusing and start feeling certain. A moment where everything inside him clicks, not loudly, but deeply. That moment has already begun. He realizes something simple but life-changing. You make his world softer without making him weaker. He starts imagining you beside him in everyday life. Not fantasy, not wishful thinking, real practical life. Sharing mornings, sharing routines, sharing comfort, sharing growth, sharing silence that feels warm instead of empty. You don't feel like a risk, you feel like alignment, and that realization is what shifts his heart. You give him the kind of connection he didn't think existed. A connection that's patient, not demanding, understanding, not controlling, supportive, not heavy. With you, love feels like breathing, natural, steady, human. It scares him, but in the best way, because good things often arrive quietly. He stops comparing you to others, because no one else gives him what you give. Emotional safety without pressure, warmth without chaos, strength without force, connection without confusion. You're not competing with anyone. You simply stand out without trying. His heart settles on a truth he can't deny. He may move slowly. He may stay cautious. He may take his time. But his emotions are already moving towards you with intention, with respect, with quiet devotion. And the final truth that forms inside him is this: a life with them would make me a better man, not because he needs you, but because he grows with you. Thank you for staying with me until the very end of this reading. I hope today's message brought you clarity, comfort, and a little more peace in your heart. If even one sentence here helped you understand your feelings better, then this time was meaningful. In the next video, I'll return with a new reading, what she truly feels for you. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. This has been ZEUS Tarot. See you in the next reading.